All right, Curt, we did find some Irish whiskey. Hope you're thirsty. Now, bringing a little taste of Ireland to the FiDi Financial District right here in New York City. We're talking about the Dead Rabbit. It's been a beacon in New York City's Irish pub scene since 2013, showcasing modern Ireland in the Big Apple with the best that the Emerald Isle has to offer.
And here to give us a taste of some of the Irish excellence you can expect this St. Patrick's Day and all year long is Chef Mark Moriarty, who serves as the Dead Rabbit's culinary advisor. Nice title there, Mark.
I like that. That'll work.
It sounds fancy.
Yeah, very
well,
much
first
so.
of all, explain exactly what modern Irish cuisine is.
So we're basing it all on the idea of the Dead Rabbit as tradition meat tomorrow. So Irish food is very traditional. We all know the corned beef and cabbage and all that sort of stuff. And what the Dead Rabbit do from a drinks perspective and I do from a cooking perspective is modern Irish food. So taking those traditional ingredients and additional traditional ideas, bring them into 21st century, adding a little bit of pizzazz.
Nice. A little remix on it. Now, you are half in Ireland, half in New York City?
I do a little bit of back and forth. So I'm a chef, a TV host and an author in Dublin, and then I get the pleasure of coming over 4 or 5 times a year to create these chef series events in the Dead Rabbit, where we basically turn the parlour bar in the Dead Rabbit into a Michelin-starred kitchen for a couple of nights.
Well, thanks for bringing it to
Exactly. So bring it to us right now and give us an idea of what we could get when we go there.
Okay, so this is an idea of the chef series and the Dead Rabbit and what I do. So to start off, we're going to do beef and oyster. Really traditional, okay? So beef and oyster is one of those traditional Irish ingredients that we've had forever and ever.
Right, but so what are you going to do? What's the remix?
In here we have some Irish beef and it's been marinated in a seaweed jam, so very Irish. And then we're going to finish it here with a little bit of snow.
Now, is that cooked beef or tartare?
So that is tartare.
Okay.
And then we have, this is basically oyster juice, yeah?
What?
So we take oyster juice, we mix it with Irish creme fraiche, a little bit of Tabasco, all the traditional beef tartare bits, and we freeze it in liquid nitrogen. And then what we do is...
But wait, there's more.
You were close.
Oh my goodness, this is a masterpiece.
You don't want to touch
right
that.
So,
This certainly isn't corned beef and cabbage.
no, that is beef and oyster brought to the 21st century. So what we do is a little bit of... Yeah, you can go for it. There's a spoon there. So it's all the flavours of a beef and oyster. So we traditionally pie, things like that. But we've just jazzed it up. Jesus, Monday morning. No problem.
There's St. Patrick's Day. We got summer.
He's got to start the week off right.
This is like a little flavor bomb. This is excellent.
That is good.
So
delish.
what's next?
So what's next is now you have a little spritz there with grapefruit and Glendalough.
That'll help.
That'll go down really well.
Cheers to that.
So this is Dingle Pie, okay? So Dingle Pie is a southwest of Ireland, a town. You kind of would go out to the Blasket Islands, out past Ventry, where my parents live, and you find basically sheep and lamb that graze on really salty grass. Literally, its next stop, Statue of Liberty. And what they used to traditionally do is they'd have a fair day on a Saturday where they'd sell their sheep in town, and then everyone would go to a place called Mary Ellen Begley's house, and they would have these little lamb pies with boiled mutton and lamb mince.
And that was a restaurant?
It was actually just a shop window in the middle of the main street. So all the sheep would be running up through, and they'd be eating all the lamb.
That's so cool.
So I've modernised it. I've used puff pastry as opposed to suet, because Irish butter is really good. And in there you have lamb, there's anchovy, there's capers.
Look at this.
And it would be traditionally served with a sort of broth with all the sort of lamb bones, but I've made a really rich lamb sauce.
Look how decadent that is in there.
It is tasty. This is a really traditional Irish recipe, Dingle Pie, beautiful part of Ireland, and it's pretty tasty.
Hearty.
It's hearty.
Pretty, it's super tasty. Come on now.
Now get your spoon into that. So that's the 50-50 mash. So obviously we're good at potatoes, we're good at butter in Ireland. We do it really well in the Dead Rabbit. That's 50% butter, as you can see.
Clearly.
You're loving this, right?
50% butter?
50% butter, 50% potato. So that is proper mashed potato.
That's the real deal.
So again, this is...
It's like a soup almost.
Yeah, but it's good, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not good for the ticker, but
Potato soup. Now, as we kind of eat here, tell us a little bit about sort of the folklore of the Dead Rabbit, and is there any connection to Gangs of New York starring the one and only Daniel Day-Lewis?
There is. So the Dead Rabbit were traditionally the Irish gang that would protect the Irish people who were coming to build New York and have made such a dent and an impact on American society. So that was the name behind the bar, and I think what Jack McGarry and myself and with the Chef series have done is taken that sort of folklore and those traditional dishes. So these dishes appeared on the Chef series, and what we're trying to do is showcase modern Irish food, modern Irish culture. Obviously they have amazing drinks, which they're world famous for, but it's bringing the food to it as well.
Yeah, let's talk about this drink right
Irish
here.
coffee? Is that what that is?
Irish coffee. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
So
And
so
you've
let's
got
make
dessert real quick.
There's only 2. Where's what?
I know. You're the one that brought it.
Here, chef. That's for you.
You didn't bring enough for yourself?
I'll have the Glendalough spritz.
Okay, all right. Well, cheers here.
So, you have a bit of Irish coffee.
Good.
and then have a bit of this. So this is obviously the dishes we've been through are a little bit sort of restauranty. They're what you can expect at the Chef Series. So tickets will be going online
Very nice.
very, very soon. You can follow.
And that's in June, right?
So that's in June.
New York.
So, yeah, in New York. So you can follow the Dead Rabbit or myself on Instagram at MarkMarty1, and we'll be releasing the tickets in the next few weeks. And these are something you can make at home. So I'll put these up on my Instagram tonight.
Oh my goodness.
This is just Irish coffee brownies.
What?
So really simple brownies, but what we do is we put whiskey through it, we put coffee, and then a little bit of Irish cream topping on top. So
Can you dunk it in the Irish coffee?
You can do whatever you want. You have to keep that suit clean now for the rest of the show, but
You can
Wow.
watch it.
Can you get a little happy off of that?
if you're drinking it alongside those, you can.
Okay. Well, here.
That is the St. Patrick's Day menu, and what I really wanted to bring this morning was just a sense of what we do in the Dead Rabbit,
Yeah.
a sense of modern Irish food, great ingredients. Obviously, today's a celebration, and it's reimagining what Irish food can be for a 21st century audience. Is the plan,
Thank you.
I
It
suppose.
certainly is delicious.
And it's tasty.
And it has
Yes.
to taste good,
There we
particularly
go.
that potato soup.
It may not be healthy for you, but it's dang good. I'll say it that way. Thank you so much, Mark. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's
Sláinte. Now,
All the Beauty in the World. It's a new one-man play written and performed by journalist Patrick Bringley.
that's right, and it's based off the New York Times best-selling memoir of the same name. Now, the play, it connects three central themes. We're talking about death, healing, and art. Now, Bringley says that he needed to really heal after his brother's passing, so he sought out refuge in a very unique place, and it's certainly beautiful. We're talking about the Met.
Yeah, that is the theatrical setting of his play. Patrick Bringley joins us this morning. This is a fascinating story. First of all, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
having me.
Patrick.
Appreciate it.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, thank you. My Saints Day.
Absolutely.
Hey, it is. Enjoy it. So, one of the things we were talking about here during the break, I mean, it takes a lot of courage. You're a successful journalist and decided after your brother's passing and trying to deal with that, just give it all up and become a guard at the Met. What prompted that decision?
Yeah, you know, my job in a lot of ways was wonderful, but in other ways it was an office job, and I was worried about, you know, office nonsense or corporate ladder climbing or whatever else. And then all of a sudden I was spending less time in a skyscraper in Midtown and more time in my brother's hospital room, where sort of momentous things are going on in this quiet little room there. And when my brother died, I didn't want to just race back to some other office job. I was kind of speechless. I sort of wanted to stand still for a while. And I was aware of this job where I could stand still professionally in the most beautiful place I could think of. And I spent 10 years on post, you know, standing inside the Mets.
So what allowed you to turn the book into a play? Obviously, it's a one-person play.
I know. Yes, it's funny. I used to be very quiet for a living. Now I just talk. But there seemed to be something natural about a one-man play about a sort of lonesome figure like a museum guard. I also think that there's something about a theater that's much like an art gallery. It's a sort of space that's been set aside for quiet and delicate and beautiful kind of things to happen. So I conceived of this play, and I pitched it to this wonderful director, Dominic Dromgoole, used to run the Globe Theatre in London for 10 years, and he helped me sort of conceive the visual aspects of this, and now we're going to be off Broadway. It's amazing.
Congratulations on that. What was that time, that 10 years that you spent at the Met as a guard? You mentioned it's at times a lonely position, but was it healing for you after your brother's passing? Like, what did that job give you?
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, you are with art from hundreds of years and all across the ages, art that's about life and death and suffering. And so there's kind of a lack of lonesomeness in that. You can kind of see what human beings have always been thinking about these things. But also, there's a huge community, because there's 500 guards who work in that place.
Wow.
You know, 40% of New York City is foreign-born. I guess 50–60% of the guards are foreign-born. So it's this sort of world within this great world museum. I mean, I say that the human beings at the Met is the greatest collection of anything that place has. So I also found sort of friendship and fellowship with them that kind of made me not so speechless anymore, sort of put me back into rhythm with life.
What did you learn big picture about healing?
Ooh, geez. You know, I was grateful to have time, you know, to not be sort of pushed back into the normal everyday flow of life and just pretend that, you know, everything is the same, or that I have to worry about the sort of little nonsense that can arise. I got to be in a place that for me it was an art museum, but for some people it might be the woods or something, where you can kind of pay attention to things that seem elemental, that seem basic, that seem beautiful, And to me, that had the comfort that maybe even a house of worship would have for some people.
And you're making your theatrical debut here in this play. Any nerves? I mean, you go from being a writer to a guard at the Met, and now you're acting on stage.
I might have a little bit in my blood. My mom was a theater actor in Chicago.
Oh, very cool.
And in fact, when I was 8 years old, I saw her in a one-woman play, The Belle of Amherst. So I found that I don't get nervous on stage. I've spoken at a lot of museums
It's
and
in the
stuff
blood.
now. But of course, there's an aspect of it, you know, it's a new adventure for me. And I have sure hands guiding me.
And it starts next Thursday
Yes.
at the DR2 in Union Square.
Yeah, March 27th through May 18th at DR2 Theater in Union Square.
Very nice. And we actually have a little clip. Let's see you in action on stage.
All right.
Check it out.
Art is about both the plainness and the mystery. And for all the time I've spent in its presence, I'm grateful. And when I leave here, I'll keep returning. But when I took up my post 10 years ago, there were things I didn't understand. Life sometimes can be about simplicity and stillness in the vein of a watchful guard amid shimmering works of art. But it's also about the head-down work of living and struggling and growing and creating.
So there he is, Patrick Bringley on stage. That was really cool. How do you feel watching yourself on stage?
I'll be happier doing it on stage,
All right.
where there's energy in the room.
Just say, give me the Tony already. All
I
right.
feel great.
You can't have an understudy, can you?
No, it's just
One
me.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. Starts next Thursday, March 27th, runs through May at the DR2 down in Union Square. Get a chance to check out Patrick Bringley and read the book. Maybe read the book ahead of time, get a little clue.
Please.
There you
Thank
go.
you, fellas. I
Thank you,
appreciate
and
it.
congratulations on all your success.
Happy
Thank
St.
you
Patrick's
very
Day to
All right,
Patrick.
Patrick.